Have you ever thought about your life in 8,000 day chapters? I recently listened to an episode of the Mel Robbins Podcast. She's one of my favorite, and she was featuring Dr. Joseph Coughlin, the founding director of the MIT AgeLab. And this conversation was fascinating. And I love that they were talking about living intentionally. Dr. Coughlin shared a fascinating way to think about our lives. Instead of measuring life by birthdays or decades, imagine dividing it into 8,000 day chapters. The first 8,000 days takes you from birth to 21. We're just a baby. The next takes us into our 40s. 8,000 days later, you're entering your 60s. And beginning around the age 65, many of us are starting another 8,000 day chapter that could carry us well into our 80s. Now think about that. 8,000 days. That's not just another season of life, it's an entire chapter. It's enough time to reinvent yourself, strengthen your relationships, improve your health, discover your purpose, or become a completely different version of yourself. Now, I have spent 35 years studying aging and working with older adults, and I immediately thought, it's so true. We spend all this time planning for retirement. It's kind of like the end of something, but it's really the beginning of something. So we meet with our financial planners. We calculate our retirement income if we're lucky. We think about Social Security, but almost no one asks, what will an ordinary Tuesday look like? When I ask people what they plan to do in retirement, you hear the same answers. Well, I'm going to travel. Me too. I'm going to work around the house. I'm going to spend time with my grandchildren. I'm finally going to do all these hobbies I've put off. And those are wonderful goals, but here's what I've learned. Eventually, the trips end, the home projects get finished, or maybe they don't. The holidays are over, the kids go back to school. The excitement of retirement settles into everyday life. That's when you're left with something much more important, the little moments. Because life is not lived one vacation at a time, it's lived one ordinary Tuesday at a time. One of my favorite parts of their conversation was that Dr. Coughlin didn't encourage people to think about a bucket list. Instead, he suggested asking yourself 3 surprisingly simple questions. Now, at first, I thought they were kind of silly. But the more I thought about it, the more profound they became. Question 1, how are you going to get your ice cream cone? It's not really about ice cream. It's about joy. How are you going to participate and do the things you want to do? And that's about capacity, the ability to do it, and access. When you can't drive anymore, or you don't live close enough to the things that you love to do, like getting an ice cream or soft serve on a Tuesday night, how are you going to do it? How are you going to experience these small things that make life meaningful? So maybe your version of an ice cream cone is walking through your favorite bookstore, browsing a farmer's market, watching the sunset, sitting on your porch with a cup of tea or maybe something stronger. But these little rituals become the rhythm of our life. So often we focus on the big dreams that we forget life is made up of very simple, ordinary moments. So if you haven't thought about how you're going to create joy in those ordinary moments, it's worth asking yourself why. Question 2, who's going to change my light bulbs? Or maybe it's that smoke detector that's chirping, right? We just had to help a friend out with that. And again, this is not about home maintenance. It's about access and resources and people. Who are your people? Who can you trust to come into your home to help you when you can no longer do some of the little things in your day that you used to be able to do? As we age, independence doesn't mean doing everything for yourself. That's a big mistake. We have to build a network of people who care. And too often we assume, somebody's going to be there. My daughter will come over. My son will do it. It's not always true. So we need to nurture these relationships and have our plan before we need help with the light bulb. Question 3, who are you going to have lunch with? I'll have lunch with you. To me, this is an important question because we've talked about loneliness before. and it rarely arrives all at once. It can be gradual. After retirement, we lose our social circle sometimes. Maybe our friends pass away, children get busy, people drift apart, and one day you realize you don't have anyone to call. That's why friendships and community are not optional, they're essential. One lunch can change your entire week. One conversation can lift your spirits. One meaningful relationship can improve your health and also how long you live. Community does not happen by accident. We have to create it. I realize these three questions really align so well with what I'm trying to do at Bold Not Old. Aging is inevitable. How we age is influenced by the choices we make every day. The woman you'll be in 10 years from now is depending on you to make good choices. She's hoping you'll keep moving. She's hoping you'll nurture friendships, that you'll stay curious, that you'll take care of your health, that you'll build a life she'll be excited to wake up to. There isn't a roadmap for this stage of life. No one hands us a guidebook for our next 8,000 days. We have to design them ourselves. I'm trying to help you with that. And that's why I created the Bold Not Old Blueprint. It's to help you think intentionally about your vitality, relationships, purpose, lifestyle, and legacy. So today, I'd love for you to grab a notebook and answer these three questions. How are you going to get your ice cream cone? Who's going to change your light bulbs? And who are you going to have lunch with? These are simple questions, but they reveal something much deeper. Have you intentionally designed an ordinary life that you'll actually enjoy living? Because we don't experience life one vacation at a time. We do experience it one ordinary Tuesday at a time. I'm grateful to Mel Robbins and Dr. Coughlin for introducing me to this 8,000 day framework. I'd never heard of this. And it reminded me that every new chapter is an opportunity to become a new version of yourself. So whether you're beginning your first 8,000 days or your fifth, you still have the opportunity to learn, grow, connect, and create a life worth getting older for. Because aging isn't about counting the days you have left. It's about making every day count. And that's what it truly means to live bold, not old. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which of these three questions made you stop and think? And if you're ready to intentionally design your next 8,000 days, please subscribe. Every week, I'll share practical, research-backed ideas to help you create a life worth getting older for. So, today's a Tuesday. Who wants to have lunch?